This is MSI After Hours, episode 5, with me and Drakos. Dude, you weren't here like two or three nights ago. Me and the boys, we went out. We got absolutely shit-faced, and you weren't there. What happened?
Yeah. Is it story time? Do you think it's full story time for chat? Do you think chat deserves story time?
Yeah, go on.
All right, so chat, I've been having a bit of a fiasco weekend.
Okay.
So Caedrel and I cast Friday. After that, I saw a friend. In the following days, I saw a friend. Later, that friend got tested positive for COVID. So I had to quarantine, and it was a bit of a mess. I was a bit of a sad boy. That's why I wasn't here. So I technically could have come on the show because obviously I'm quarantined within my house. But it was like I was a sad boy. I was like, Jesus, like, oh, MSI is over. I'm dead. This is miserable. So I was a sad boy. So I took a night off, and you know the boys Wonder and Crepo, they're more than happy to step up. Since then, that person has been tested negative. So it was a PCR test, and as most of you know, probably know if you've lived in COVID land, the PCR tests are super effective. So it wasn't like a false positive. It was that, like, whoever administered the test messed it up. So since then they've taken another test. They're in the clear. I've taken a PCR test. It seems like I'm in a clear, but it's just been this whole mess for like the past 3 days. Euphoria comes out tomorrow. We recorded it from home just to be on the safe side, just to make sure we weren't risking anything. But the friend of mine who was in trouble is good. Don't sweat that. I'm good. Seems like everyone is COVID free and happy. But I had this like 3-day kind of nightmare quarantine where I was just like, well, MSI's over for me. I'll lay in my bed and sleep for 12 hours a day. You know, like classic little mini depression thing. So, you know, here we are. So that's the context.
I'm glad you're healthy. That's all that matters. That's all that matters.
For sure.
But can you imagine having to quarantine for like 2 weeks or whatever it is, like alone? You know.
I was full ready. For context, I was like pretty ready to be quarantined to the 28th, and I live with my girlfriend, right? And so I would have had to like isolate from my girlfriend in my own apartment. So she was bringing me. My joke was that she was my prison warden, and that she was bringing me, what she didn't super appreciate. But that she was serving me my meals during the day. I would like back away from the door as she like set the food down.
That's pretty funny. That's pretty fucking funny. I think if I got COVID and I had to quarantine, dude, I would just stream 12 hours a day. Stream me sleeping. I don't know, is it bad?
Yeah.
Is that a bad
No,
idea?
I mean, like, no, I think it's totally fine. Like, until you get
else to do.
symptoms. Like, yeah, until you get like symptoms or it's like actually going to impact your health, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think for me, it was just like I'm already kind of going crazy being stuck in this apartment all the time. So when like you get news that you have to be stuck in the apartment for 14 days and you're not allowed to do anything else in the midst of like a very hype MSI tournament, it was like, yeah, I was a sad boy.
But now you're a happy
now
boy,
we're all good.
right?
Now I'm a happy boy. Well, yeah, of course I am. Mad Lions made it to top 4. You know,
And you're
Pentanet
back.
got a game. I was not sad at all that I had to do a shoey for the boys. It was my pleasure to do a shoey for the boys.
I did mine on broadcast. Red Bull. Maybe I should do it again with beer, but that almost not bad too.
Yeah, we'll get more opportunities.
We'll
If
get more
Oceania,
opportunities.
keep performing, we'll get more opportunities for shoeys. I feel like, at least. Maybe that's wrong.
All right. Well, let's talk about MSI. Now, Cloud9 got knocked out by Pentanet. Pentanet got knocked out. So now we're left with our top 4. What were your biggest surprises of round 1, round 2? What surprised you the most? Coming into the expectations coming in, and now the reality of the top 4 and how it played out. What surprised you the most?
I mean, I think chat's already saying it, but I think it's definitely C9, right? And I think it's not that C9 were like crap, right? Because obviously a lot of people are gonna look at 3-7 and say it's crap, and I know we've talked about this already, Caedrel, but like to me, it's how wildly variable their performances were, because you saw it in round 1, right? Where like the first few games that they played were just a disaster, and you could chalk it up to bad meta weed, and then they came back swinging. Like Fudge was much better, Blabber played much better, and then we get to round 2, and immediately we get a lot of the same thing, where it's just like you see these moments or these glimmers of hope or these games where obviously they take down some of the top teams, and you're like, hell yeah, Cloud9, this is crazy. But they're always like, it's just like a little piece of gold in a pile of poo, you know? Like the gold is there, but like there's so much poo that you're digging through to get there that it was like, oh, it's just so all over the place. I don't know. I'm trying to find needle in a haystack. What's the gold and a piece of poo isn't a good metaphor. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's
Maybe
a pretty nasty metaphor, but y'all feel me on the thing. Diamond
okay,
in the rough.
what about this way of making it? Okay, so
When
you're
the
stuck.
dog eats the wedding ring, and you gotta
No.
gotta get through that to.
So you're stuck in a maze, and the maze has 10 different exits, okay? But you don't know where you're going in the maze, but only one of the exits gives you a golden nugget when you get out of the exit. The rest of the exits, you fall into a pit, and you're stuck there with snakes and you die. So I think C9 found the golden nugget a few times, but the rest of them, they fell into a pit. Is that a better one?
No, because I think that what that says to me is that they don't actually have any idea what they're doing, and rather than calling them coin flip, you say they have like a 1 in 10 chance, which is strictly worse. They're rolling a D10, right? Like that's strictly
Okay, my
worse.
analogy was pretty bad. Okay.
Mine was gross, and yours was not very good.
Okay, so let's put them together. A poo maze.
It's a poo maze.
Okay,
It's
yeah.
a maze.
It's just
okay. I think this is what I think. Rather than because we obviously suck at metaphors. What I'll say is basically this is like there were a lot of good moments and good parts of C9's gameplay, but the total lack of consistency, I think we actually have a great interview with Perks where they talk about this, where there's communication breakdowns, and there's especially like from the way that he talked about his team, and again, you can listen to this tomorrow on Euphoria. Like when you hear about I always compare teams to G2, but when you hear about G2, maybe because they're like still the North Star until Mad Lions can maybe prove otherwise. There wasn't like they didn't need to communicate as much in team fights. There was a lot of just like people understood. There was a lot of like one person saying cooldowns, but everyone else just kind of understood what they needed to do. And it seems like Cloud9 want to get there, but maybe aren't there yet, right? Where there's like sometimes some people think that they have a different role than maybe other people think that they have, that there's not as much communication in these big moments, or there's too much communication. And so yeah, it makes sense as to why we would see some games where like everything clicks and everything really works out, and there are other games where people are on different pages, and especially in games where they fall behind, which was a number of them, it just falls apart super quickly.
Yeah. Oh, Deppa's in the chat. What's up, Deppa? Yeah, I mean, the thing that surprised me the most as well is that Mad Lions only ever actually really beat the top 2 team once. They only ever beat RNG once. They got smashed by Damwon. The other game, they got smashed by RNG. There was never really a point where like, Mad Lions can take down top teams. I mean, they did it once, but D9 was the only team to take down Mad, RNG, and Damwon. So, yeah, props to them. But yeah, the golden nuggets were working out until they weren't.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, right? Is that like, who does better in a best of 5? Like, I'm still inclined to believe Mad, but if you tell me that C9 had some really high ceilings, like, yeah, absolutely, they took games off Damwon, and that's like that's something you can't really underestimate, right? Like that does really matter. But the thing about group best of 1, and this tournament has been just just a million best of 1 games. Like we basically just played 2 LEC seasons over the course of a week and a half, 2 weeks. It's consistency. It's all just about consistency. You know what I mean? Like you can't drop games to the PGGs of the world. You can't drop games to teams. Yeah, you don't have to beat RNG and Damwon to make it into groups. You just need to not lose to the other teams around you, and C9 obviously just couldn't do that.
For the guys and girls out there asking about the hot tub stream, it's coming. The pool is right next to my foot. It needs to be blown up, inserted with buckets of water, and then I need my duck mask, goggles, and snorkel, and we're good to go. That's gonna happen soon. I think other surprises. Sorry.
I was gonna say, do we just do it either way?
Yeah.
I think we're just kind of excited about it. Let's just.
Here's
what I'll say. We need to.
How do we make bubbles?
Body wash or like bubble bath. We can go to what's that place called? I got a bubble bomb. I'm a grown man. I've got a bubble bar.
Perfect.
We can do that. We just gotta shake it around or something.
You know, filling up the pool is gonna be easy, but this is gonna be in my apartment, by the way. So how are we gonna empty the pool? Oh well, we'll figure it out when we get to it. We'll figure it out. You promised Shuri for PGG win. Yeah, I did it on broadcast that same day, and Drakos did it on Twitter. Another surprise was how vulnerable RNG and Damwon look. Like RNG, yes, in round 1 they went 8-0, but then they lost to Damwon. No, they beat Damwon both times. Sorry, but they lost to our Mad Lions and C9 and PSG, and Damwon lost to RNG twice.
Damn, there you go.
Crazy.
Yeah, I think that it's the thing with Damwon that's like really easy for us to see. I think is that like Damwon especially have these games. Wow, I feel we're gonna end up with a lot of overlap with here in Euphoria. Euphoria comes out tomorrow. Check it out. I think that the big thing to me is that this is something that we learned in the Euphoria discussion today. I think is that like how high variance the bot lanes are from what we've seen, kind of across the top 4, especially because like Damwon bot lane has had games where like Beryl and Ghost are just straight up just like either doing nothing or in Beryl's case just like running it, right?
Yeah.
And while Ming is also a god, when Ming pops off, he's a total absolute god. Like when RNG's bot lane has fallen behind, it is Ming who is usually dying. That doesn't mean that Ming is inherently the one making mistakes, but like Ming is the guy dying, right? So on paper, like when you look at the scoreboard, Ming is always the one paying the price. So I don't know if it's over aggressive engages, going in at the wrong time. Like there's a lot of, I think it's a kind of a mixed bag. And just like I think the bot lanes are so crazy, kind of all over the place. And I think you could say the same thing for Khan in the top side. When I say that though, I mostly am referencing round 1. I think he has gotten a little bit better, a little bit more consistent as we've gotten into round 2, but still just the high variance lane phase performances like really affect these games. And it reminds me of what El Yoya said before MSI, before he even I think knew who was going to MSI, which is like most of the teams in the world that are in like the top level, like if you give them a lead, they are good enough to play the game out, right? They are more often than not, like yes, other teams are still going to make comebacks, but more often than not, they are like good enough if you give them a big enough lead to close it out. Like it's not like teams can't do that. And when I look at Damwon, that's like the clear evidence of that, where it's like when you see Damwon win a game, when Damwon get ahead early game, it's like clean for the most part. It's like clean, it's clinical, it's super controlled, and they just like choke you out of the game. Like Showmaker and Canyon just like do not let you play League of Legends. Like Showmaker Zoe is nasty. It just actually looks unplayable. Like it does not just looks like not fun game. Like they should just remove that champion because it's just there's no when Showmaker plays that champion, it doesn't look like you actually have any room to interact. I'm kind of losing myself in this point here, but ultimately, like what we've also seen is that when they fall behind early, like that a lot of that game plan has to get shifted up, and they don't respond as well. It's a similar story, I think, for RNG. And I think you brought up today, and I think I would love to hear you kind of like say this again for the chat. Just like RNG and PSG games are especially a good example of kind of the inconsistency we can see from these teams.
Yeah, I mean, it's so hard to say because I think like RNG and Damwon have clear weak points. I think Damwon's weak point is obviously their bot lane that you just hit, and RNG's obvious clear weak point is their mid laner. I think Cryan is not that great. I think he's not been playing that great either. He's kind of on TF duty where he's going to support his team and his team's going to carry and his bot lane is the main carry. Zhao Hu has his ups and downs, but I still think he's like one of the best tops and Wei is doing pretty fine, but I think Cryan is like the biggest weak point and Ghost and Beryl also weak point. So I think these teams can be exploited pretty easily. I think they need to be careful of level 1 invades as well. I think Mad Lions might do that. PSG will do the same thing. PSG did it to Mad did it to PGG. No one else has done it since, other than PGG doing some lane swaps. But they can get fucked really hard level 1. I don't actually remember what I said on Euphoria. Do you remember what I said?
Yeah, we talked a lot about the teams, about these matchups in particular. I mean, you talked a lot about like you recapped a lot of what actually happened in the Talon games, right? Because I think that as one of the semifinal matchups, that's one of the ones that we look to. And ultimately, when you look at how Talon performed across the group stage, one team that did really well against was RNG, because both of those games, at certain points, you could say were Talon favored, right? And I think that's...
But I think the biggest reason as to why they were winning those games was because Kaiwing and Doggo were just hard winning bots 2v2s.
And again, I think bot lane's just literally everything in this best 5 stage. Because like when we look at, obviously Showmaker's had his moments, right? And I think that there is a mid difference when we look at the top 2. And maybe we see some of that mid gap between Humanoid and Showmaker. I hope not. I actually kind of trust Humanoid to hold his own in lane, but we'll see. But bot lane feels like more often than not, short of level 1 invades to get a jungler ahead or crazy early game skirmishes like we saw in like the Cloud9 Mad game where like something just explodes because teams take a crazy risk. More often than not, like the real explosive part of the map from all of our top 4 teams here is bot lane. Like every single AD carry, it feels like exclusively W's forward. Maybe with the exception of Ghost, but the other 3 are all fucking nuts. Like, they do not believe that Tristana W can be used to back up. Like, they all insist on going forward at all times.
The coolest thing about all the ADs, or like just the meta in general, I don't know if it's meta or just the ADs of the tournament, it feels like the second like one bot lane is ahead, like the game is already unplayable for the enemy team. Like, if Gala Ming's ahead, bot tower's down, they swap top tower's down, they're sitting in mid, doesn't matter if they're top laner 0-3, they just carry every single fight, and AD... I mean, that's just kind of how a bad comparison is solo queue. If you're a jungler in solo queue, the best lane to play around is always bot, because bot lane's the hardest role that can snowball, right? They can snowball the hardest. Whereas like if you're top 5-0 and enemy bot's 5-0, enemy bot will always win. And you can see that kind of in competitive to an extent. It's a bad comparison, but it still kind of hammers home the point that if your bot lane's ahead, you can control the whole map. And I think that especially in the meta with engaged supports and these kind of carries which spike on 2 items and can make solo plays like Tristana Kai'Sa, it's monster OP to get your bot lane ahead.
Well, and I think the solo queue comparison, like, that comes from somewhere, right? And I think that there's a lot of value in past metas, right? Like, you snowball your top laner can take over a game. Like in the Fiora metas, like that was just unplayable. That was like true 1-3-1, where this champion just like your top laner literally doesn't get to play the game, right? And I think you see some of that. Like I think you saw some of that in the Fudge Aurelia game, where like there's a point where Arma can't even approach his own tower. But I think those kind of matchup and those kind of discrepancies are rare, right? But I think the thing that's really crazy about bot lane is like, one, purely from a simple math perspective, there's twice the amount of fucking people. So if you get that lane ahead, you're getting 2 people ahead. Wow. Like, wow, crazy. Quick math. But also, if you get that lane far enough ahead, it means the support gets to roam more. You know, it means the AD carry they can sit there and they can push that advantage. They can dominate that lane, 2v2, or push out and roam, right? Or maybe they're more likely to be able to leave that AD carry alone so the support can roam more. I just feel like you get so many options when you play through bot lane. Like it frees up so many other parts of the map when you snowball bot lane. Now, maybe that's different if we're in like a fucking Akali meta, if we're in a meta where like there's more crazy flashy mid laners, if more people are playing Kiana mid, maybe that becomes different. Like maybe there is more of a justifiable reason to invest more in mid lane, in top lane. But I feel like in this meta where it's literally only playmaking supports and AD carries that all snowball super well, that all fight super well with small leads. All these, like, God bless Halo Blades nerfs, because like all of these Halo Blades AD carries are so freaking OP. Like, yes, I wish they'd hit Tristana directly, but not in this patch. Not in this patch, but for the future. But like you can see, all these champions are so oppressive.
You're completely right. You have bot push, you can go mid. You have mid push, you can go bot. And if you keep this push, you control Drakes. You can force fights. You have your own vision. You can win the game. So that's basically what you see in the MSI meta, like TLDR. Yes, you can play top side early, like Blabber going top in their games as an example. Like he normally ganks top level 3 to 5. Either it's after first base or before first base. He goes for a top gank on champs like Udyr. But after 6, 7, 8, it's not super worth to play top side unless your bot lane is neutralized. Like if your bot lane's not going to get dove and lose their tower when you make a top side play past 8 minutes, then it's absolutely fine to go top side, take a herald, take a top tower, base, get your top laner ahead. But just a general rule of thumb is what you'll see a lot, especially in the best of ones that maybe people haven't spotted, is the winning team's bot lane will use their support to go mid, put wards around mid to give the mid laner vision. The mid laner can hug bot side mid, push the wave, and then keep going into bot side, so he's in fog of war. And you'll see them keep doing this up and down the river, up until the point where both lanes are pushing, jungle does Drake, game's won. So yeah, wait, Spotify, hello?
Hello?
Okay, never mind. My voice just disabled itself for a second. Yeah, it came back. So that's a TLDR of how the meta works, and you control Drakes, and you can obviously play around whatever lane you want. Whenever you get the setup 1-4, but that's more in-game stuff, right? So
yeah, and like shout out to Vedius, he's really always really quick to point this out. But like the meta is, there are lots of little small shifts, but functionally the meta has been kind of this way for pretty much since Last Worlds, right? Even before Last Worlds, just EU was slow to adapt, so it feels like Last Worlds is an EU pundit, where it's just like everybody kind of plays. Obviously, everyone plays for lane priority. That is just League of Legends. Lane priority is something that you should fight for and that you need to play the game, right? But like, you play a lot through your jungler. It's all engaged supports all the time, right? It has been for fucking ever. Like, yes, there have been 1 or 2 glimpses of more wacky things, up until Yuumi got gutted, right? And even then, there was still some roaming or lingering Ezreal Yuumis last year. And then, like, yeah, you set up, you play as much as you can as your jungler to get your jungler ahead. You've got these roaming, you've got these ganking supports, you've got these reasonably self-sufficient AD carries that have solid defensive tools. You know what I mean? Like Kai'Sa, Tristana, Xayah is obviously the other one. It's not as true with Varus. He's more picked to dominate lane, right? And like we had some brief interludes where it was Ashe and it was Jhin, and there's more utility in the AD carry position. But for the most part, it's just been kind of like, I feel like we've been essentially in the same pro meta for a really long time. And yes, the matchups have shifted a little bit here and there, but for the most part, it's been like kind of control magey mid laner, some kind of bruiser-ish top. There was a brief stint where tanks were kind of OP, right? But some kind of bruiser as top laner, and then you have some jungler who wants to, for the most part, power farm, right? And so it's like, I feel like we've seen it at this point.
All right, let me pose you a question here, Drakos. Now I'm putting you on the spot here a bit. Would G2 be doing better at MSI right now than Mad Lions?
I mean, probably not. Like maybe, but I'm still not entirely clear as to why the fuck G2 bombed out. And I think that I don't think it's. I think you have to have some faith and like some G2 magic, or you have to have some information I don't have to believe that they do. Because the most recent evidence that we have says they couldn't go toe to toe with our top teams, whatever the reason is, whether it was like bad teamwork, bad team play, pick and ban strategy is not working, regardless of what happened, G2 couldn't do that. So unless people are willing to come out and say like, we believe in, let's just assume G2 lost and somehow auto qualified for MSI because like, I don't know, literally everyone else died. Horrific thought, but bear with me, thought experiment. Literally everyone else died and it was like, well, G2's the only ones left. It's like, what would they do in that 3 to 4 week period to super level up? Like, do I believe that G2 have gotten better in this off season? You had Wonder on, like they've been scrimming these good teams. Like, yes, absolutely. Do I think it's reasonable to assume that they would have like gotten so much better and good enough to then beat Mad Lions, to beat Rogue, to find a new level of consistency and then show up internationally? Like, no. And I think it's also probably I think it's just an unreasonable assumption. Like, if you tell me you believe it, I'd be like, all right, you're a G2 fan, there's a historical track record, congrats. Like, that's I think it's unreasonable, but like I can see how you got there, but I don't think that there's any like super logical argument to come to that conclusion.
I agree. It's hard to argue that side of the coin where it's like, well, what if they did go to MSI? What would they do? How would they do? Personally, I think Mad Lions doing pretty well so far. I don't want to say they've surpassed expectations, but they definitely haven't like disappointed, I think.
Yeah, I think that there's two expectations that people are going to hold. There's one that's like the expectations for Europe, and there's one that's the expectations for Mad. And I think Mad have exceeded fans' expectations for Mad.
Yeah.
Because I still remember that the dialogue coming into this tournament was that like we should have sent Rogue. Was like what a lot of people were saying, right? And we've obviously talked a lot, and this is a hotly contested narrative as to Carzzy struggling in playoffs, or at least in the final series, versus now how good he's shown up, right? Like I think that Mad can. I think that if I'm a Mad player, or if I'm on the Mad staff, or if I'm a Mad fan, I would be telling those players like, you have done great. Like, do I want more? Hell yes, but I think you've been doing great. Now I think the contrast to that is, as a European fan, you're going to look back, and for me personally, you're going to remember we won the last MSI. And we didn't just kind of win the last MSI. Like, we beat SKT. Finals was kind of a meme, but we 3-0'd TL in the fastest final ever, so we can still kind of be proud of that.
True,
like,
that MSI was a bit of a stomp, wasn't it?
Yeah, and that was the G2 meta. It was crazy G2 picks left and right. And yes, TL, bless ups TL, did do us a gigantic favor by taking the LPL out of the tournament. But, like, it was still a big deal. And even then, like, even though G2 got knocked out by Damwon, they weren't able to make the back-to-back finals run. It was still like, when you look at G2, you expect this higher level of success, and there wasn't. Like, when G2 got into best of 5 stages, I think EU fans for the first time in a long time got comfortable going, okay, G2 is the favorite against this Asian team. And I think that that's not something that people are going to be super keen to let go of, but I think that like people should, and sadly I think this is true, I think people have to accept that, like, for Europe, that 1 year, 1.5 years where we were able to proudly say like we are a top 2 region, like sit down LCK, I think that time has probably passed. Like, I think if you want to talk about the holistic strength of regions, like, maybe you can still argue that EU is contesting, but when it comes to our number 1 seed versus Korea's number 1 seed, so Damwon essentially, I think that we are behind, and I think we have to accept that we're like pretty firmly in 3rd place. Now, Mad Lions could prove us wrong. My only point here is that, like, in the G2 era, after they started taking, like, you started, like, after the first SKT best of 5 victory, like, I don't know about anyone else, and maybe other people have different perspectives, like, you believed that G2 could beat Korean teams, and maybe not LPL teams because they had a shit track record, but you believe that they could beat, like, you could come into a best of 5 and be like, I believe G2 are going to win this, and it wasn't like EU fandom, it wasn't like EU bias. You were like, this is a legitimate analytical prediction that I can make based on how incredible this team has played against Korean teams. Let me
stop you there 1 sec. But what if I was to tell you that Damwon didn't exist anymore? Now would you say Europe's better than the LCK?
I mean,
I would say yes.
I like yes. yes. I feel like
I
yes.
think Gen G SKT
feel like-
versus G2 Mad Rogue. I think Europe would win.
I feel like so much, and this is a very uneducated opinion, so take this with a grain of salt, chat. I feel like the rest of LCK, when I watch their gameplay very casually, not a huge LCK. I don't watch a ton of LCK. I watch more LPL. The rest of LCK, I see like the old LCK, like the slow, the controlled, the never flip it, the never risk it, the never go crazy, you know. And Damwon felt like the exception to that rule. And there are some other LCK teams that are also the exception to the rule. But I think Gen G was one of the clear examples of like a team who was just like, we're chilling.
But I think
Ruler's gonna get a couple items.
People have to understand that Damwon absolutely stomped that region. I think they lost 2 series or 2 games in the entire split and 3-0'd the finals. Like, it was not even close. Like, there's a tier above and then there's fucking 10 tiers above. And that's what Damwon is in the LCK. So you take Damwon out of the LCK is pretty weak. Gen G was fine. SKT looked okay. They had so many roster swaps that eventually they found something, but they still got murdered by Gen G. And then Gen G still got murdered by Damwon. But I think without Damwon, the LCK is pretty weak. Like, I think there's no denying that. I think most people would agree that, like, barring a few superstar players, right? Like people are saying in chat, like Chovy is really good. They're still really good players.
Yeah, Ruler is still a fucking incredible player. Like, LCK still has a ton of incredible players, but like LCK has always had a ton of incredible players. That has not won them. That has not just like come in and won them every single tournament. I think the thing that, like, in my opinion, the thing that LCK has lacked is like a team that is. They have not had the teams that are willing to play more aggressive style, willing to take risks, willing to go for it. It's always been like more reserved, more calm, more calculating, more trade, you know, more cross map, less of the like. LPL obviously is like fight city. And again, these are oversimplifications of the region, but I think Damwon was always the exception to the rule of LCK, where like whatever trend you expected for the LCK, Damwon were the ones who were outside of that. Like, if you told me 8 out of 10 teams were doing something, I know Damwon would be doing something different. And that was like always what set Damwon apart. And that is clearly something that's paid off for Damwon, is they are, they're number 1. They're clearly number 1. It's not even remotely close. So if you take Damwon out of the equation, people can definitely argue it would be, like, people can still argue that LCK would come out on top, but you cannot tell me that that would not be a significant hit to the strength of the LCK, because they are by far and away the best team from that region.
True. Whereas if you look at other regions, right, like this is the best example I want to give here. You look at LPL. I think that LPL, the winners of that LPL, it could have been at least 4 teams, 3 teams at least. FPX, RNG, EDG, definitely title contenders. So any of them could have won it, right? Any of those 3 teams, you plug and play at MSI right now, I think you have a similar result. EU, Mad Lions Rogue, I think you plug and play, you probably have a similar result. Maybe G2 at an extent, arguably. Top Esports, they looked okay. NA, let's even take NA as an example. TLC9, I think you plug and play. Maybe you get similar results. The only difference is LCK, I think you plug and play Damwon, Gen G. There's going to be a big difference, right? Damwon won the entire Rumble Stage 2. Like, they stomped. Yes, they lost to RNG 2 times, but they were very consistent and they had very good games. Yeah. Yes, they showed weaknesses where they lost to C9 and they lost to RNG. But if you plug and play Gen G in that group, I think they probably finish around 3rd. I think they're tussle with PSG, maybe Mad Lions as well. Maybe they even have maybe Mad Lions have the upper hand, right? That's the point I want to make.
Yeah. So, and I will say, I saw someone comment like a straw is versus a freak of freaks. I will say that most of the time, I think we have to frame these in like top 5 compared to top 5. And I would hold on to that for LEC, because I do think that the LEC is very top heavy. I'm actually I'm not happy that the LEC is top heavy, but I'm happy that we have such a competitive top of the table. Like, that is really refreshing. It is not just the G2s and Fnatics. There are 4 to 5 teams that I really think that, like, and obviously this is all going to change coming in summer, but 4 to 5 teams in playoffs that I thought were really good. But yeah, obviously our bottom of the table is
our bottom of the table is pretty rough. And that's the thing, if you expand the LEC, dude, the bottom of the table only gets fucking bigger. So yeah. LEC is not top heavy than LCS? Yeah, I guess. I think LCS is definitely really top heavy.
LCS is crazy top heavy. Yeah.
It's not even close, those bottom teams. But yeah. That's a cool discussion. Yeah, I think top esports Sunning, there's loads of LPL teams which are like good, if not like...
The LPL... And again, watch the interviews today. I don't know if it was El Yo-Yo or Perks who was talking about this, but we had this come up today. It's like, there's like so many teams in the LPL, and there's like at least 5 of them they could like beat the shit out of us internationally.
Yeah, it's true. But you have to also understand, like, the player base in China. There's 32 teams in the LDL. There's 16 teams in the LPL. There's like subs, 2 or 3 subs in every single team. There's so many fucking players. Like, the LPL is the biggest talent factory on the planet. Like, we look at Europe. Mad Lions Rogue, talent factories, amazing, love it. Rookies, great, looking fantastic. Trimby, Larson, wow, great, inspired. Look at the LCS, okay, not so much rookies, but more so like signing fucking good players, great. LPL, dude, that shit's nuts. Barring a few imports here and there, right? The rookie the Shy, arguably, Viper, Noguri,
like,
right?
Okay, so
but still,
I think to put it in perspective, right? Like, appreciate how much and how developed the EU scene has become, with EU Masters being really profitable, like, or being really successful. You know, you obviously look at K Corp, you see 5 players who are like, people are going to look at those players to pick up for teams, right? And then like double or triple that scale, and you've got, or quadruple or quintuple, and you've got the LPL. You know what I mean? Like, think about how many more new players we have coming in every year because of the success of regional leagues in LEC, and then look at LPL and understand that, like, your career starts, like, it's not like you've made it, like, you haven't even started until you're playing an LPL, I feel like. And once you get there, it's like, I feel like it has to be literally fight for your life, because there are 10 guys behind you that will take your spot in a fucking heartbeat. You know what I mean? And I feel like so long in Europe, you look back to 2016, 2017, hell, even 2018. Think in your head right now, Chad. Think in your head right now. How many players, when you think back to that era, were washed and you were surprised they got a spot on the team? Like, how many players just got recycled through different teams over and over again every split, despite mediocre results? Like, how many players? Now think about today. How many players realistically like that get recycled? Like, almost none, I would say. Like, we are almost down to 0, right? Like, Caedrel. Yes, good job, Chad. take the shots. There's like so few players left. Whereas in, like, back in the day, I think 2016, 2017, when I started my casting career, there were so many players where I was like, why are people still picking this guy up? Surely it has to be a better deal to bet on new talent. And now it is. And now imagine again, LPL, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 times the scale of that. Imagine how much more competitive that is, where you as an owner of a team in the LPL could probably go, I can find 5 new players to replace you guys. You know what I mean? Like this, like nothing. Like, that has to be such a crazy, insane competitive.
I don't count
like,
as recycled because I'm retired. Sorry, Karen.
That's true.
I'm retired. I don't count as recycled. So yeah. Wow, we went a little bit off topic here, huh?
I mean, I think it's interesting though.
It is an interesting topic.
I think that it's something that we have to, like, not necessarily that we have to think about, because ultimately it's not our in control. We're casters, but like, and pundits, right? And I think we're allowed to have opinions, but I think that, like, what can be learned from the success of the LPL, because it's not just, you know, it's not just Chinese players. Like, there's a ton of Korean players fighting and going over to LPL. You know what I mean? And I don't know really much of anything about the LDL, but I would not be surprised if there are a lot of Korean players there too.
So, looking forwards a bit to Friday and Saturday, PSG versus RNG, and Saturday Mad versus Damwon. Now, someone was asking in the chat a lot before we touch on this. Just a quick hit. I don't want to get too into detail because we don't control any of this. But a lot of people were talking about the scheduling, saying that why aren't Damwon playing on Friday and then having 24 hours and then playing the finals if they make it? Why are they playing on Saturday and then straight to the finals the next day if they finish first seed? Surely it makes more sense to get second then, because you have more time off. But to be honest, before you answer this, you can think of it 2 different ways. Now, maybe I'm wrong here, but the initial thoughts I have is, don't you just mean that if Damwon plays on Saturday, they have an extra day off on Friday as well? So they have a longer break, right? Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, instead of Wednesday, Thursday. And Friday, you can take a break, chill with your team, watch the games. By the time the games are over, okay, great. You have a little bit of prep, and then you have the evening prep for the team you're facing, which is Mad Lions. You have morning prep for Mad Lions. If you win against Mad Lions, you have evening prep for RNG, morning prep for RNG. Now, it's a lot more complicated because a lot of hit and miss, right? If they played on Friday, they could just play their game, and then Saturday, they could just sit there and watch and prepare. So it is actually a little bit trickier for them, but I don't think it's a massive difference, is it?
Yeah. I think I can't say what the difference is because I'm not in their position. What I would say is that if I wanted to make this as fair competitively,
actually, it is a massive difference.
I mean, I think that there's an argument to be said of would you rather watch your team in prep and know which team you're playing in? I think, yeah, you're probably right. It's probably always better to play Friday.
Yeah, it's probably way better to play Friday because playing back-to-back best of 5 sounds fucking horrendous.
I think that, and I haven't read the rule book. And again, technically I work for Riot. I do work for Riot, but I'm not speaking as a Riot representative, so don't take this as, rule of law or anything. This is just my personal opinion, is that you can do it one of two ways, right? It either needs to be a clear thing that you give as a result of seeding, right? In any form, right? And if that's, hey, your first seed, you get to pick between choosing your opponent or choosing what day you play. Like, that's fine with me, but you need to choose. Like, it needs to be a part of the equation, right? And to me, it sounds like it hasn't been so far. Again, not 100% sure. Or it needs to be random, which is shitty. I much prefer the, like, it's a part of the equation, but then it's not. Because I do not think that this is like anyone like I don't think there's any bias here. I don't think there's anyone out here like rooting for Mad. I just think it's probably, or like RNG or whatever. I think it's probably just oversight. Like someone just didn't catch this and didn't think that it was going to be that big of a deal. You know what I mean? Like someone probably just missed it, and that shit happens, And obviously people aren't going to be super forgiving because they're pissed because they feel like something was taken away from someone who deserved it. But like until you're in this situation, and this is, I think, the first time we've had a schedule this dense for MSI. People don't realize these things, Like someone probably just missed it. Would be my assumption, and maybe that's wrong. Maybe someone was like, "No, I think this is the best schedule," and maybe they're just like,
we don't actually know who did this. Like we both, Drakos works for Riot. I work as a part of Riot in a sense, but none of us had any input. We don't even know who even chose this. I think it's to do with way higher up in our position. So asking us is great and all, but can't really give you an answer. Do I disagree or agree? I actually agree with you guys, I agree with you. I think if I was Damwon, I'd rather play on Friday, chill on Saturday, watch RNG, and then play on Sunday. Not have to back-to-back it. So yeah, I definitely agree with your points. But yeah, now that I think about it, it does suck a little bit. I don't know what we can do. But
yeah. The Tencent decided, it's like, guys, like, Tencent's chilling. Tencent's, I don't think Tencent's worried about when RNG plays, my dude. Like, I don't think they care. Like, I think it's actually like, I think the conspiracy theories to me are like so out there. I think, like, again, Occam's razor. Like, let's not assume that people are being like malicious or deceitful when it could just be that someone fucked up. Like, more likely than not, guys, like when you think there's a conspiracy afoot, someone just made a mistake, right? Someone just didn't think that this was going to be a big deal, so they didn't think about it. That's more likely, in my experience working in esports, 9 times out of 10, when you think it's like, oh, the dark shadow conspiracy, like they've all teamed up to spite Damwon. More often than not, it's just someone made a mistake.
Yeah, I can tell you guys, Tencent's like schedule right now is probably like luck skin. When does RNG play? It's on the floor. So yeah, that's probably what's going on in the headquarters. I think the luck
neither
skin,
confirm nor deny the importance of luck skins.
The luck skin is way higher up than knowing what the schedule is or fixing schedule. Gotta get those luck skins, dude.
Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah, so I guess we'll just move on. But like ultimately, like again, I think esports, young industry, people make mistakes. A small indie company. Bear with them.
Okay.
More often than I don't think anyone has ever been deliberately trying to like.
Yeah, I don't think this was on purpose.
Scheme. Yeah.
I don't think this was on purpose. I think it was just not an accident, but just went overlooked. Anyway, let me get your predictions, Daniel Drakos, master of many tongues in many games, master of cards, master of video games, master of podcasts. What is your expectation, good sir, for PSG versus RNG?
All right. I think this is RNG.
Masturbator.
And I'm not just saying that in case Papa Tencent is listening. I'm saying that because I still think RNG have got this. I think PSG showed 2 good games against RNG, but when I look at RNG overall, yes, Doggo's had a great tournament. Yes, Rivers had some good games. Yes, Mabel's had some good games, but like Xiaohu versus Hanabi, it's like, I can't.
But it would be the most RNG thing to just lose in semis, by the way. It would be the most RNG thing.
It would be the most RNG thing ever.
It's like tournament favorites, gonna get to finals, beat by PSG. That would be the most RNG thing ever.
It's actually so true. This is the thing. Is like I've never felt comfortable betting on LPL teams like since 2015 LGD. Because every time like a favorite comes in from the LPL, I feel like another LPL team will win the tournament, right? But like I never feel like I believe it's that team. You know what I mean? Like the IG when we were ready for the IG back-to-back, and then I was just kind of like, oh, well.
Oh,
never
okay.
mind.
Well,
But,
there you go.
No, FPX, I guess, don't be. So it's just like, yeah, does it feel weird for me to 100% bet on RNG? Yeah, but I still think that like overall I'd expect more from RNG. That said, PSG have performed very well, certainly above my expectations. I think above a lot of people's expectations. And I'm a Maple fanboy, so I'd be happy to see PSG win, but I do expect RNG to win.
I'm going to say PSG is going to win, actually. I'm going to say PSG is going to win, and they're going to win in a 5-game series. I'm going to go with the dark horse of this tournament, PSG, because no one is giving them the dub factor, and I'm going to give it to them. They've got my support. So PSG Talon, up the boys. I think they're going to make finals. I think it's going to be 3-2 to them.
And their extra day of preparation is gonna win them the tournament.
Yep. I don't think they're going to win the tournament. I don't think they're going to win the tournament. I think it's going to be a Damwon PSG finals, and I think Damwon's going to 3-0 them. But they're going to make it to the finals.
Oh, I mean, spoiler for your second prediction there, bud. Yeah. So, the elephant in the room. This is MSI After Hours. We host on another podcast called Euphoria. Euphoria.
Euphoria. Sorry, carry on.
Which, by the way, if you haven't seen that GIF MP4, whatever the hell it is, the sad NA guy with the Euphoria people partying next door, it's actually it's a gift.
Yeah,
it's
so good.
It's a gift. Save it and use it every year. It's actually the greatest thing that's ever come out of international rivalry.
It was really funny.
No, Andrew, you still have to watch Euphoria. No, shut up. Click on Euphoria. We need those views. Yeah, so now we have to talk about this matchup.
Wait, do you have the link to it? I think people haven't seen it in my chat.
Fuck. It was oh man. Dude,
I remember
I think Mitch sent it to me yesterday. I can post it here.
Okay.
Stream. It's a streamable.
I'll talk while you're getting it. So Mad Lions Damwon.
Can I post links in chat, or am I gonna? Let's see. Let's find out.
There it is, streamable. I'll play it on stream for you guys as well. Here you go.
Oh wait. Let me know it's done.
Anyway,
We're going up. Hey, this is actually such a great. Save that forever, chat. That's going to be useful every year for the rest of your lives. Whatever esport you're watching, it's so good. You can just change the pictures to something else. The double lift sneaky.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. It's such a banger. It's such a banger. Okay, yeah. Matt Damwon, hit me with it, Drakos. You hit me with it.
All right. So first off, a couple of caveats as we get into bracket stage. Inconsistency. While C9 was the team we talked about at first, inconsistency has been the name of the game here, I think, at MSI. So there is always potential for upsets. I think this is an MSI where, to me, you have favorites, but no one is surprised by upsets. No one is completely surprised by upsets. I think you're ready to consider upsets. So that said, this is where I now make my Damwon prediction. I still think Damwon are pretty favored here. I think their mid jungle is insane, and I think short of absolute mad bot lane devastation, which again I would love to see. This should be a pretty Damwon Kia favorite series. Now, Matt have grown across the tournament. I expect them to continue to grow. I expect them to have some special strategies up their sleeve, but I still think that Damwon Kia are overall the better team, the stronger team. And short of either mad overperformances from individual players, underperformances from Damwon players, or some crazy fucking prepped strats from Mad, basically a lot of intangibles, I expect Damwon Kia to be the favorites. Like, I think on paper you have to give the prediction to Damwon Kia. That doesn't mean that I don't think Mad can perform the upset, but there's a lot of shit that I don't know that needs to go in their favor to make Mad win this series, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think it's a win if Mad can take a game off them. Even if they can take them to 2 games, that's a win. Actually, you know what? Fuck it. No, Damon's gonna win. I'm not gonna do it for this one. I'm not gonna do it for this one.
Bro. You can't keep making me predict first if you're gonna go for the edgelord.
No, I'm not gonna be an edgelord. I'm not gonna be an edgelord. Now, Euphoria's great and all, but like I think Damon's just gonna murder them. Like, I'm all for surprises, right?
Okay. All right. Best. Okay, but hold on. More Euphoria spoilers. And I swear to God, I'm not just trying to plug this. It's just really funny because Dash did a really cracked El Yoya interview, and it's like the greatest interview I've seen in a long time. Shout out to Dash. But he asks El Yoya about like, hey, what do you think of Damwon? I know you were excited to play Damwon. What do you think? And he's like, yeah, actually, I'm pretty disappointed. I feel like they're underperforming. They're not as good as I wanted them to be. Like, I wanted to beat the best Damwon, and I feel like this Damwon kind of sucks.
Yeah, he said that in an interview.
I was like, how do you have the ball? Like, who else has the balls as a rookie on an international stage to be like, yeah, Canyon, I'm disappointed in you. You should have beat my ass to the ground. How fucking dare you come in here with this weak shit?
It's true though. But then he also said in a follow-up, yeah, I think we can probably beat them.
It's so good.
Even though they got
Great
too
interview,
by them.
by the way. Again, shout out to Dash. Make sure you watch.
Actually,
watch the episode,
no,
watch the interview.
but Drakos, think about it. Okay, the Mad Lions coaching staff, they're in the wherever they are right now, hotel room, Airbnb, whatever it is they're in right now, and they're sitting there with their fucking 10 drawing boards. There's 16 coaching staff, and there's blueberries all across the fucking bed because they eat so much snacks in between games as well because they're so healthy, and I love to see it. Okay, now hear me out. They have the level 1 plans that even fucking NASA's computers couldn't figure out. I'm sure of it. They've probably planned out level 1s 12 hours a day. And it's going to be Gen G versus G2 all over again. It Worlds last year, where it's level 1 non-stop.
Here's my
they make protein balls as well, man. How cracked are they?
Oh my god.
They also, when I went to their house once, they made me a green smoothie. It was green. It was a smoothie. It tasted good. It was healthy. Dude, I'm telling you, this coaching staff is built different.
You don't understand. It was both a smoothie and green.
Yes, no joke.
Green and a smoothie.
No joke. And they've been sitting there with their 10 like Sharpie pens with a whiteboard, and they've just gone to town for 12 hours.
Here's
and
the
they
deal.
figured out every level 1 that's humanly possible.
I think we waffle harder than a U.S. politician, dude. I think we flip it. I think we go full mad. And
Should
I think
we just
if
do it?
mad don't, I think here's what we do.
Okay.
We talked about the hot tub. We get in the hot tub in one of two circumstances.
No, we're getting in the hot tub anyway.
We're getting in the hot tub anyway.
Yeah.
Shit. Well, we
maybe we just get in a hot tub while we're supporting Mad Lions. Should we do a live viewing of some kind of Mad Lions games in a hot tub with beers?
I think. Okay, here's the thing. Yeah. This is my plan. Bear with me. In chat, you can let us know what you think. Maybe we do a poll or some shit. I think if Mad win the semifinal, after the Mad semifinal, we review the entire semifinal in a hot tub as a celebration stream. That's my opinion. That's what I think we go for. And then if they lose, we do the hot tub stream after the tournament. We talk about the tournament. We talk about like roster rumors or some shit. We do it all. But I personally think if Mad win, the greatest celebration we can. Oh god, the greatest celebration we can have.
The year of the duck, man. Sorry, I had to put this on.
Okay, save that. We're using that. Save the duck mask. It's gonna be so good. The memes are coming through. If Mad make it to finals, if Mad win the semifinals, the evening of this first game, which I guess is Saturday, before the finals, we will celebrate for Mad. Imagine we're celebrating. This is the eve before the final battle. When you drink, when you get merry. That's what we're gonna do in the hot tub stream.
You know what else I ordered, by the way, Drakos? I ordered an inflatable banana. So we can write subs names on it, okay?
Oh my god, we're getting inflatable banana. Are we still doing charity? Are we doing charity? I like the charity.
Oh yeah,
angle.
we're gonna do it for charity as well. I have to figure out how to do
It's
that.
gonna be for charity. We'll figure it out. I can't believe you're still a duck. This is so crazy.
Yeah, I should take this off. My head's getting pretty sweaty. I can't see. My eyeballs are up here and here, but it just ain't working.
Do sub wars? How do sub wars work? I don't have any subs. Who do we sub?
Sorry,
wars
I'm
with?
back. This was my friend Duckersy.
Yeah, I think we would do all of the hot tub stream tropes, but I think for charity, or maybe we can donate half of whatever you make that evening to charity. I don't know, but I feel like if I'm getting naked and not profiting off of it, it has to be for a good cause. So I feel like we should donate to something. We'll figure out how exactly we do that.
Yeah, I don't know how to do charity things through subs. I think it's easy to do through donations.
I think it would be donations. Yeah, I wouldn't expect you to do the sub thing. I think that's too hard. I think we'll open donations in the evening and we'll do donation incentives for the body writing, etc.
Yeah. Okay. That sounds.
Hot tub is not naked. No, it's not naked. I'm getting like shirtless. You guys are gonna see my chest tattoo. You're gonna see my my muffin top. There's like a lot that I'm giving away here for free.
Your
for sure
muffin top. Oh shit,
bro. I got them. I gain weight in a lot of specific areas. Y'all are gonna find out.
Okay, dude. Don't give me that shit.
That's what, bro. That's what we gotta give the people what they want. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we'll do it. We'll do it. It'll be popping. Cool. So that's the expectations for MSI. I think that's about it, isn't it? That's about it.
Yeah, I think so. Should we do some chat questions? I think there's probably a lot of them. I've seen people have been pretty active. Shout out to you, chat. Damn. Did you mute yourself, by the way? What's happening here?
Me?
Oh yeah. It's sorry. There's a delay because I don't have your camera right. I just have your stream open. So sometimes you talk on stream and then I can't see you.
Oh.
Endercast is never invited.
Guys.
Shout out to Ender. Wait, how is Endercast
How can I invite
VIP
you guys?
and Medicast is a mod?
Look at the size of the pool. Like, how is Ender and Medic gonna get in there with me and Drakos? It's impossible, man. It's tiny.
If I could pick 3 teams that did not make it to MSI, would you love to see them? I would have loved to see FPX. I'm a big Nagari fan. I would have loved to see... I honestly would have also loved to see Rogue and or G2, one of those teams. But like peak performance G2, not like that weak shit that they showed us in playoffs.
Not that weak shit.
Other than that, I don't know. It's really another LCK team I would have seen. Wouldn't have mind seeing TL. Like I still prefer C9 honestly, but I wouldn't have mind seeing TL to see how Alfari would do. I'm a big sucker for like really strong top laners. So, Nagari versus any really top laner would be such a banger to me. So Nagari and whoever his
Did you watch Nagari versus Xiaohu? Nagari going 110 on Jace.
But every early laning phase, he was like up 40 CS.
Yeah, he was smashing. I think he's still the best top in the world. He just had a happy game.
It's actually so funny because it's sort of like the Alfari series where like Alfari's like winning every lane, but then he just overextends and dies to jungle ganks. It's the same thing where like Nagari's like winning every lane, but they're just like hard smashing bot to the point where it just doesn't matter.
Yeah. Your passive thanks for 2 months. Is Elyoya the most impressive EU rookie since Caps? Yeah, I'd say so. What other rookies won their split and gone to an international event and made top 4?
Wait, Elyoya is the most impressive rookie. Like, Caps is the best player that EU has ever produced. Perks is the most successful player that EU's produced. But Caps wasn't that good in his rookie split. Like, he was solid, but he wasn't, like, cracked out of his mind.
True.
Elyoya is for sure relatively more successful in his rookie split than Caps was.
True. What other rookie has been thrown onto a team with high expectations who finished top 3 in their region the year before, or top 4, and then taken them straight to MSI in his first rookie split? When he was in EU.
Fudge is good.
Fudge
is also a good one. It's
Whippo
not
didn't
even
play, did he? Whippo was like sub. Wasn't he a sub in his first
No,
season?
so Whip was subbed. He came in for playoffs, and then he came in for MSI, which is why he was excluded from the rookie of the split vote. And there was like we had to make up a fake award to give to rookie because he did essentially deserve to be rookie. Most outstanding rookie or something. Whippo didn't like pop off in stage games. Like he did his job, and he certainly had his moments where he was really able to do well. But it wasn't like Whippo was like super cracked in that playoffs. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I don't remember it very well. So.
I mean, it's hard to remember exactly. I mean, I'm trying to remember when the NT Blippo GP period was. Was that the NT GP Blippo playoffs, or was it the next year? ADC GP. Yeah, I mean, for sure. Botlane Blippo was one of my favorite.
Botlane Blippo was sick.
Botlane Blippo Hill is saying, I still dream of it. Every time I see them, I'm like, you guys could be a sick botlane. I also love upsets. I always feel bad when I say that, but I was like, you guys would be a cracked bot lane. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, I think that Blippo has one of the craziest stories in League of Legends. Like his first year was absolutely fucking nuts. If anyone's life is getting made into a movie that isn't like not based on like winning 5 world champions, it's for sure Blippo because his career trajectory is just fucking wild. But yeah, I think Elyoya is probably our most successful rookie ever. Now, I'd have to go back and double check because I can't remember everything that Reckless did in his rookie year, but I feel like for sure Elyoya is... Because like Elyoya is like up there contesting the top of the table for junglers immediately. And I guess Caps was there too. He just didn't really like immediately get the success from it. It's actually a really hard question. But my instinct is that Elyoya is our most successful rookie, and just on paper.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, Perks is actually a really good call too. They bomb because the G2 vacation memes are there for sure, but the Perks Trick duo, especially, those guys were just fucking taking names all of 2016, and they did as a team beat all of the established names. That was, of course, the Fnatic rebuilding year, so that one was very hard. But they beat OG too. Damn, it's actually really tough. It's Perks or Elyoyo for sure.
What about Caedrel? Well, he did not bad. He made
He did
playoffs
not
in his
bad.
first split. He did make playoffs in his first split in H2K.
Perks was meeting. Perks is a good one. Everyone's going with Perks. Alfari Misfits against SAT, also good. Was that technically his rookie split? That was his second split though. Rookie year though. I don't know. It's actually hard. It makes me happy when we have this discussion though, because it reminds me of how many dope ass fucking rookies we have. So I shouldn't be so quick to say Elyoyo is by far number one. It's the first one that comes to mind, but it's a bigger discussion, I think.
Yeah, for sure. At least I had a rookie split ender.
Hooney though? Oh, Hooney.
Your only
so
rookie
good.
split was standing behind Faker.
Jesus. Get him. Hooney or Rainover, also good. Shit, it's actually really hard. You guys are right. There's way more than I gave credit to.
Isn't that the coolest shit ever? Yeah, when he
I
asks...
didn't cast.
Actually, Ender's peak career is when Faker asks him for a bottle of water, probably.
When Ender asked the translator, when he asked the translator to ask my Ender for a bottle of water.
Yeah. Here,
Someone
get
gave
me
him
some
a
water, Ender.
notebook?
That was Ender's peak career.
Wow. Wow.
Water boy Ender.
Do you still have that notebook, or did you have to like
Did
give
you
it back?
take it from him,
Did you just
Ender?
like hold it for a second? Yeah.
Did you take the notebook from Coma?
No, Rainover technically played at LCK. I don't know how we qualified rookies back then. Rainover played because he was called Game Over in LCK, right? He was like really trash in LCK, and then he popped off in EU. You got it for 5 minutes. All of SKT's drafts.
Ender had SKT's draft in
And
his
you
hands in
didn't
5 minutes.
and you didn't break the integrity of your position to leak everything to a Western team. Are you really in it for the West, Ender? You know?
It's like Faker says a sentence and says the word Ender in it somewhere in like a Korean sentence, and then Ender's like, what? Eh, he said my name, and the translator's like, yeah, he says, Ender, can you get me a bottle of water? And then Ender's like, oh.
Jesus, Medic. I had a human heart in my hands, says Medic. What the fuck?
I had a human heart in my hands. Oh Jesus,
Doctor,
Medic.
he's Dr. Flex, dude. Dr. Flex. Kalima,
Dr.
baby.
Flex.
He was fun. Okay, all right. Come on, Ender, you're digging, dude. I respect
Yeah, you're
it.
digging Ender. Yeah,
I
you're
respect
digging.
it.
Anyway, I think that was a good episode. I think we did an hour.
Good.
That was good.
Yeah. It makes me realize that we should talk more about like big accolades, like the best of all time or shit like that, because it is just
Yeah.
really interesting. There's just so many names that come to mind.
Yeah, definitely. We should talk about these broader topics more often. I think it's really fun.
I like it. Are we wrapping? Is this us?
Yeah,
Are we
I think we're
donezo?
wrapping. We're wrapping it up. We're wrapping it up. Guys, that was MSI After Hours episode 5. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to subscribe, click the notification bell, and if you enjoyed it, drop a like or comment. It always helps with the algorithm. Thank you, guys. Okay, that's the YouTube cut. Boom.
God damn.
Drakos looking like Bjergsen. Actually, it's true. It's true.
Yeah, I mean, ever since I got these glasses, I get that comparison all the time, which is flattering because Bjergsen is a very handsome man. So thank you, chat. I'll take that. I would say that Bjergsen looks like me because I'm older than him.
Don't give me that shit, Drakos. Don't give me that.
I mean, let's compare. Let's check followings. I have 84K followers on Twitter.
Okay, how many does Bjergsen have?
Bjergsen has 1.3 million. Okay, so
Oh,
I'm
okay.
close.
Yeah,
I'm
you're close. You're
close.
close if he lost
I'm
90%
close.
of his followers.
I've made it farther at Worlds than Bjergsen has.
True! Actually true!
So
Rare
things
W.
to consider. It feels bad because he's not here. to
Guys,
defend
clip
himself.
it! Drakos calls Bjergsen shit, thinks he could do a better job. Clip it, title, thumbnail, slap them both together. Nice little devil's eyes on Drakos. Title, YouTube, 100k views. Cash out, check, go to the bank, buy yourselves a hot tub. Hot tub, invest in a Twitch stream in Twitch with your hot tub. Job done. New job.
Right, Bjergsen's name on your body for every sub. It's coming full circle.
Yep. Now you're just investing. Use your hot tub, go on Twitch, get some subs, invest the money from the subs into Bitcoin, which has now crashed. Stonks, millionaire.
Wow, you're fucking smart, dude.
Thanks.
He is a what? Guys, calm down. All right, calm down. Yeah. Also follow us on social media platforms if you don't already. There's 2,000 of you in here. Some of you follow me, some of you don't.
Actually,
Hit it
guys,
up.
can I ask you guys a favor? There's a new website out which sponsors me called Tracklol. I'm gonna link their Twitter in the chat. If you could give them a follow on Twitter or just like start, giving them some love because I think they have a really cool website and they have really cool analytics to do with all things MSI.
Here's what I'll say because I always think this is interesting. I think check out the website. If you like the website, let them know.
Don't just do it. Don't just do it for me. Just do it if you like it.
Don't just do it for Caedrel. Check out the website. Try it. I've seen the website. It's a pretty cool website. So if you like it, if it does it for you, then follow it. Give them that support. They deserve it. If you don't like it, that's your choice. You do what you want.
Anyway, that was the end of the podcast. I'm gonna stop streaming for now. I'm a bit tired. Did a lot of stuff today. And I will be streaming tomorrow, guys. I don't know what time. I need to check if I need to do anything tomorrow. If I don't, wait, I'm gonna check right fucking now. I'm gonna check right fucking now so I can tell you guys for sure if you're gonna see me tomorrow.
Did you do your NordVPN shout out? Do you have to do your shout outs?
Shout out to NordVPN.
NordVPN.
Let's
70% off 2-year, 1 month plan with 1 month free. Use the code Caedrel for the discount.
Ooh, Drakos. Ooh.
Yeah, Amy May's got it with the Moobot, but let's do it again for the boys at NordVPN.
You guys want me to play Resident Evil Village? I will be playing Resident Evil Village tomorrow. Tonight, I think it'll be a bit butchered, and I would run it a bit, and it'll also be a bit boring because the dopamine ain't there.
You guys, where are you at right now, Mark?
I just finished the Booba Boss. Booba Boss, boom, one shot.
Chat. You guys are in for the best part. If you played RE8, obviously no spoilers in chat, but you know Section 2 if you played the game. All I'm saying, little data, anyone in the chat, any RE8 people know what I'm talking about? Let's just say that he's about to, don't tell him, hold it. You know what I'm talking about.
What are you talking about?
Nothing, bro, nothing. You're gonna have an experience. That's all I'm gonna say. You're gonna have an experience. He doesn't know, chat. He doesn't know.
Okay.
You can't spoil him. Do not spoil. If you spoil and ruin this, I will be fucking furious with you, chat.
Okay, don't spoil it then.
Let him experience it. It's so good. It's so good.
Okay, well, I don't know. I like critical information. Pepe Laugh, Pointed Streamer, My Streamer, Smile Face, XD, Monk W. You can spam it all. But you can spam it all tomorrow. Not now, unfortunately. Thank you, Drakos, for being alongside me on this journey through the bar. Had a couple drinks. We got our way through. We'll be doing another episode on the semis night, on the next semis night, and on the finals evening. 3 podcasts left to come, 3 more episodes left to come. We're 5 episodes down. We got 3 more to come, and they're gonna come your way on the stream right here. Make sure to drop a follow on the Twitch and check out the Discord. Thank you, Gregas, absolute legend bartender. Wait, high five.
Great unit and Dominic.
Wait, high five. Other way.
No, it's Mike side.
3, 2, 1, go.
Bam.
Okay. Nice one. All right. Guys, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks all for being here. Thank you, Drakos. I'll catch you later, buddy.